Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. When I heard out, welcome to hour number two of the line, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com, Andrew Mclain, Who.com, and Real Talk 99.5 TV on the YouTube. I'm pulling YouTube up now. I want you all to do that. Let's all do that together. Is everybody ready? I want you to go to your YouTube app, pull it up. I'll wait on you. Pull up YouTube and then go to your search bar. Type in Real Talk 99.5 TV. You got it? Real Talk 99.5 TV. I'm watching YouTube right now, okay? So I'm going to see if you guys actually do what I tell you to do. All right, you do it, you type it in, hit the search button, boom. You see the logo there, little white circle, Real Talk 99, the 99.5 logo. Click that, go to the page, then you see our live video. Click the live video, and boom, you see Andrew Mclain right there. I want y'all to get on the YouTube channel right now and say, "Hey now, hey now." There you go. There's my man Irons Ford with a "Hey now, hey now." Jump in there. Give me a "Hey now" with the there you go. There's Jeff Griffin. Give me a "Hey now" with the J's. WDB 1932. Come on. Give me a "Hey now" in the chat. I'm watching y'all. Give me a "Hey now" with the J's. JJJJ. There's Kim Bryant. Look at y'all piling in. That's what I like. Kristen Massey. Yeah, look at y'all. You're doing such a good job. Everybody. Y'all are great at following directions, by the way. Oh, WDB is Walter. Walter. There we go. Thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you, YouTube. Remember, Real Talk 99.5 TV. I ain't telling y'all about that just for my health. I'm telling y'all because I want y'all to get on there and I want you to subscribe. And plus, I want to make sure people's actually listening to me or if I'm just wasting my time telling you all my deepest and darkest secrets and thoughts on politics. There we go. There's LWRSJD. Okay. Yeah. Hey now. Hey now. Look, even the Real Talk 99.5 TV account just said, okay, hey now. So somebody, I guess it's an employee, somebody logged into the Talk 99.5 account and said, hey now. That's how many people. Look at y'all, Pop. Look at all these hey nows. Yeah. Hey nows and J's and everything else. Jamie says, hey now, let's get a PBR. Is it too early to start drinking? I don't think so. I don't think so. You might as well get it in because y'all don't need to be drinking on Sunday when you're over at your family's house. I mean, some of y'all have those families where you drink on Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I'd probably hold off on the alcohol this Sunday, unless you've just got this unbearable family where you have to drink. Look at you. Look, Big Papa's Truck and Equipment, Doyle Bevis, Davis, Boomer. Look at everybody in here. The Country Philosopher in the house. You got Jay, Derek Williams. God, look at all y'all. Appreciate it. Remember, Real Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube. Y'all lock it in. And make sure you stay with us throughout the show on YouTube as well, because your boy JB will be playing the guitar at 1 o'clock. He's going to come in a little early, even though he's with Leland today. He has committed to come in just a little bit early to hang out with us. So thank you, all my YouTube people. Y'all are the best. Let's look at the text line. Dixter says, "Who won the hey now?" That was I forget who it was. Oh, it was Mark. Mark won. He picked Avril Lavigne. Dixter, you came in 2 minutes early, which is actually against the rules. You came in way too early. Regina says maybe the temporary AG will do something show-stopping so that he can become permanent. Maybe he will. He is, I think he's probably a good guy. I mean, we've watched him over time. He's done press conferences on behalf of the DOJ. He's been by Trump's side through a lot of different things. I think he's part of Trump's team during the impeachment trials and everything else. So he's He's a good dude. I just don't know that he's built for a permanent AG because he's not, he's from the legal world, which that's what being the attorney general requires. But, you're also dealing with politics in that realm as well. Sharon says, Detroit girls say, go blue. Come on. Come on, Sharon. Don't rub it in my face. Walter says, look at Damien kissing that ass. Whose ass is he kissing? Was it mine? Talking about Tennessee? Adam says it would look like a Joe Biden rally with the cardboard cutouts. That's true. We could get all the cardboard cutouts and make them the Iranian Ayatollah and pack the seats with those cardboard cutouts. Bubba Rumble says, if I run afoul of the law, I'm calling Uncle Slam right meow. 100 flex in effect. Referring back to Tiger Woods calling Donald Trump when he got arrested. Jeff says, for God's sake, find John Bird. If I wanted to listen to Jocks, Jocks, I would change the channel. Listen, Jeff, I know y'all don't like me. And I know you don't like Damien, and you only like John Bird, but that's all I can do, buddy. I'm doing everything I can. But I appreciate that because I love when people text the show and tell me how to do my job. It's my favorite part of this job, as a matter of fact. I love it. I love when y'all do that. Boomer and Johnny with a hey now. Taylor says Trump couldn't get Tiger out of being arrested. I guess a dictator/king doesn't have the pull they used to. That's a good point. For somebody that's supposedly a king, you would think he could just call the police in Florida and say, hey, don't arrest my boy. I'm the king. If you don't do what I say, you're gonna be sent to the gulag. But, kings just aren't what they used to be. It's a deal. It's a whole deal. Oh, by the way, my boy Spook, and I dropped the ball. He asked me to say something about this. He said Friday, April the 3rd, which is today, Spook Trail's offering a special birthday gift. It says, do you have a birthday today, Friday, April 3rd? They're offering a special birthday gift to you. Show your state-issued ID and get in free. Okay, so Good Friday, I guess Spook Trail's got a thing going on with their haunted house, their haunted maze. It's Spook's 55th birthday. So it's Spooky's 55th birthday haunt at Spook Trail Haunted Maze from dark 30 to 11 p.m. And for the information, if y'all are haunted house people, I'm telling you, this place really is scary. So check them out. They're up in what did I say? They were up towards Jasper Way. I don't remember exactly what the town is. But all their information, you can find them online. Look them up Facebook, Google, Instagram, Spook Trail Haunted Maze. Is that what we call it? I'll look it up real quick. Spook Trail Haunted Maze. Yeah, look at me. Highway 269. 17327 Highway 269. Yeah, find them on Facebook. That's some scary stuff for you haunted house people. Y'all hook it up. Spook's a good dude. All right, let's see. Where was I at last hour? Oh, we were talking about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi gets fired, right? She gets canned yesterday, and the rumors started flying around. There was this claim, and I actually mentioned it towards the end of the show yesterday because it just kind of popped up on my radar. But the claim was that Pam Bondi was fired for tipping off Eric Swalwell about the FBI's release of the Fang Fang files. Now, when it comes to that, apparently the FBI is putting together or packaging together the information that they had, that the previous FBI had collected on Eric Swalwell's relationship with Fang Fang and what crimes he may have committed, such as revealing classified information. I mentioned yesterday that, you know, when it comes to situations like this, you've got somebody, say, like Eric Swalwell, who's just a real nerdy guy and is probably, easily swayed by women, if they push the right buttons, seduce him, if you will. And there's a lot of men out there like that. They can be easily seduced by women because when it comes to Fang Fang, Chinese spies, international spies, they know this and they play on those human nature, those male instincts or whatever, and they end up getting in with you and getting you to spill the beans because much like on a James O'Keefe expose, you've all seen those when he was with Project Veritas and now with O'Keefe Media, they would send a female to go talk to a target, which would be, somebody within the government or whatever it is, and have them start hitting on that individual. And then that individual who is, again, some nerdy government guy is all like, oh man, this girl's really into me. I need to do something to impress her. So they'll sit down for dinner. And what does this guy have to offer? Not a whole lot other than he's got an important job within the government and gets clued in on secret information that nobody else knows. So in his mind, he's like, oh, this could really impress this chick. So they start spilling the beans. That's likely the trap that Eric Swalwell fell into, these honeypot traps. Well, the DOJ is piecing together this, I guess, package to maybe criminally charge Eric Swalwell or at least expose what he's done. And it's detrimental enough for Eric Swalwell to send Kash Patel a cease and desist letter as the FBI prepares to release this. Now, there's obviously something in there if Eric Swalwell has got his legal team putting together cease and desist letters to send to America's top law enforcement agency. I don't really know how you think you're going to stop them from doing their job, but whatever. They said attorneys for Representative Eric Swalwell demanded in a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel that the Bureau refrain from releasing decade-old investigative files involving the congressman's purported ties to a suspected Chinese intelligence operative. That's according to the Washington Post. Swalwell's attorney said in their letter that there was no justification for releasing the files, especially since the congressman had assisted the FBI in its investigation. The congressman has never been accused of wrongdoing in that matter, and your attempt to release the file is a transparent attempt to smear him and undermine his campaign for governor of California. That's according to the cease and desist letter. Your actions threaten to expose you, others at the FBI, and the FBI itself to significant legal liability. So he's saying that I'm going to sue you because I'm going to sue the FBI because the FBI is trying to hurt my gubernatorial campaign. Imagine a law enforcement agency like the FBI or the DOJ going after a politician to hurt his chances for re-election. Where have I heard that story before? Yeah. So anyway, that's how big of a deal this is. Well, the rumor was, going back to Pam Bondi, that Pam Bondi is friends with Eric Swalwell and that she had tipped him off that the FBI was doing this in order to, I don't know, help him prepare for a cease and desist letter. I don't know what it is that Eric Swalwell would do being tipped off by this, but it was strange. I thought, one, why would Pam Bondi do that? And two, where did this relationship between Bondi and Eric Swalwell even come from? Because Eric Swalwell has never been kind to Pam Bondi. I don't ever remember him saying nice things about Bondi. According to reports, well, this says the Daily Mail, or the New York Post, should I say, a senior Trump administration source, and this is the response from the White House after the story came out from the Daily Mail. A senior Trump administration source has denied sensational claims that Pam Bondi was fired for tipping off Representative Eric Swalwell about FBI plans to release files tied to his links to a Chinese spy. The source told the Post that while President Trump personally likes Bondi, he had grown dissatisfied with her performance and had been weighing her removal for some time. The source said, quote, the president has been considering this change for a long time. So, according to the White House, not a direct response from the White House, but an unnamed source told the Washington Post that there is that was not the reason for her firing, and really they only denied the claim that Pam Bondi was fired for that reason, but didn't deny a relationship between Pam Bondi and Eric Swalwell, or that Pam Bondi tipped off Eric Swalwell. Last night on Jesse Waters, Todd Blanche, the new acting attorney general, did deny that. He said that those were untrue claims and everything else. And Jesse Waters continued to press him like I think he should. And he says, no, there's no truth to that. That's crazy talk. And it does sound like crazy talk. But it still brings me back to the things that I'm dissatisfied with Pam Bondi on. And I'll tell you about some of that when I get back. 205-545-9950. A lot coming up right here on the line. Talk 99.5. Hang tight. Still watching YouTube. Hey now to Bob Cook. Hey now to Ray at Cisco Construction. Shout out to everybody at Cisco. We got Ben with the Jays, Boomer, Jason. He said, "Hey now, first comment ever." Doyle Bevis. We got EcoView always listed. Man, I love EcoView windows. Man, those guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome what they do, man. They do really good work. Y'all get with my guys and gals over at EcoView. They're number one. If you want to get in, 205-545-9950. Dave's on the line. Dave, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Andrew, I got a couple things. Hey now. The if I'm not mistaken, Pam Bondi was the AG for Florida that turned Zimmerman into the Obama administration. They were looking for black on white shootings, and this basically really started what Antifa was BLM's and Antifa too, their rage that spread all across, especially in the Midwest. The other thing I got, and this is not speculative on my part, I looked it up this morning. Xylon is the gas they used in the Nazi concentration camps. It's made with fluoride, by the way, sodium fluoride, and with what we know now, with lack of nutrition in our foods, we don't need that fluoride in our water. There's just no two ways about it. We got enough problems with the water with all the garbage in it. We went through all these years where we were protecting the water source for the city of Birmingham at Lake Purdy, and then they finally decided, well, we'll just go ahead and start reusing sewage water. And if you remember, the campaign then was, don't dump your drugs down the toilet because those filters it'll get through those filters. But what's underground with our water pipes is old cast iron. Some of those old cast iron pipes are over 100 years old. And, of course, they do have lead joints. But the garbage in them for over 100 years is still in all that rust, and it comes through every now and again. Every once in a while you hear of a break on one of them, like a 24-inch main in Southside, something like that. And that's our infrastructure that's not being addressed, hasn't been addressed by these thieving politicians, is what they're called. Think about it. We need some honesty. I think only God's going to give us that. So
yeah.
You guys have a good Friday.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, and
Yeah.
I'm on board with the anti-fluoride thing. It's funny because I really didn't know a whole lot about fluoride being in the water until I started in radio, and one of our listeners at my first station, her name was Ellen, and she was part of a group that was about getting fluoride out of the water in Anniston. And so there was all this talk about fluoride this and fluoride that, and I'm like, what is this even about? I vaguely knew about it, but I never put a lot of thought into it because fluoride was just a thing. They just put it in the water. I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason for it to be there. And once you start looking into it, you're like, what? It's in our drinking water? It's in our bathing water? Why would that be? Oh, it's because we don't want people to have cavities. Well, brush your teeth. Go to the dentist. Don't rely on your drinking water to be the foundation of your dental health like this. That's crazy. And then we sit there and consume it, and God knows how many diseases and problems have happened over the years because of people consuming fluoride. So I'm glad that we're moving in a direction where that's out. So I'm keeping my eye on a F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jet that's been downed in Iran, and there's currently rescue missions going on. Iran is claiming that they shot down this fighter jet of ours. Trump has been briefed on the situation, and we're waiting for more information. It's been the news of this has been going on for about 15 or 20 minutes, but I've been kind of waiting on information to come out, which we have not received. I was listening to a little bit of Jennifer Griffin, who is the chief national security correspondent for Fox News, talking about it. She doesn't seem to have a whole lot of information, but we'll see how that plays out, because that would that would be kind of a big deal, especially if Iran has shot down that fighter jet. That would be a sign that they are not looking to negotiate, and we need to double down. And what I think it does is I think it brings us one step closer to taking over Carg Island. If things keep moving in this direction, you've got Marines that are currently in the region training to take the Carg Island by sea. That they're going to just jump on the island and take it over. And at that point, then Iran's got nothing. That's the one thing that's still keeping them afloat and keeping the money coming in. That's where all their or 90% of their oil is. So that may be the last straw right there with that jet going down. So we'll see. Also, I want to say, and I want to talk a little more about Pam Bondi here in a moment, but just a little backstory about Pam Bondi and why when she was first hired for the job, I was like, because what I knew about Pam Bondi was, and you know our partnership with Bubba the Love Sponge down in Tampa, and I consider Bubba a friend as well as the rest of the guys down there. Bubba had a stunt that he did on the radio back in 2000. It was like 99, 2000, 2001, where they had a pig roast live on the air. And what they did is they had a wild hog that had been caught, and they had a professional hunter come and slaughter the pig on site. I think they did it in their parking lot on site, and they cooked it and they, gave it to the audience, which is when it comes to their party that they do every year, BARP, that we went to back in January. They have a pig roast, and it's kind of in honor of that. Well, the Florida Attorney General and animal activist groups decided to go after Bubba because of that stunt. And what they hinged it on was, which they hinged animal cruelty charges on, was the fact that during the slaughtering of the pig, which was strictly on radio, there was no visual of it. Remember, this is back in the early 2000s. Whoever was in studio running the board decided during the slaughter that they would pipe in a bunch of sound effects of a pig screaming to make it seem more dramatic. So that's what was heard on the radio. It flipped out animal rights groups, PETA, and everything else. And so they looked for criminal charges, which they put on Bubba, and they were going to throw him in jail for 10 years. And he had to go through the trial and everything. And the person that was prosecuting him in the state of Florida was none other than Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. She tried to throw Bubba in jail for 10 plus years on animal cruelty charges on something that was really done by the book. I mean, it was done humanely by a professional and everything else, but the fact that they did the theater of the mind radio thing and tried to make it seem more dramatic than it actually was, they did that. Now, fortunately, he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers and never faced those animal cruelty charges, but Pam Bondi led the charge on that. So, and then whatever you think, whether you think it's right or wrong, I mean, that's kind of, when Pam Bondi was picked as Attorney General, that's what I knew about Pam Bondi from the jump. And I was like, we'll see. And again, it wasn't all bad, but she didn't do anywhere near what she should have done in that role. Bubba Rumble's on the line. Bubba, what's up?
I got to get in on some of this Pam Blondie bashing too, man. She, we'll be better off without her in the long run.
I agree.
So, one thing about Pam Blondie that I have discovered since she stepped into the AG's office, like she's a Bush acolyte. We finally got the Bush political mafia out of the politisphere, and then she's right back in the upper echelons as Trump's AG. She was propelled through Florida politics by Bush influence and money, and we don't need Bush people in our government anymore. They've done enough damage to this country. So she gone. That's good on that, And then as far as laws that she spearheaded while she was AG in Florida, she really was behind the big push for their slightly less than constitutional red flag laws that got passed when she was still in office down there. And red flag laws are bogus because this is this thing. In California, they're one of the first states that passed that. It's now known as the angry girlfriend law over there because, don't take off your girlfriend in California if you happen to be a big fan of Second Amendment items because they seem to have keyed in on that and used it many times to screw people over there. And then she was also behind her anti-hate speech legislation that they passed there. Hate speech laws that only protect a certain sect of our society who shall not be named.
Right. Yeah, that's not the record I really want for my attorney general. I'm gonna be honest.
No, there's a lot of big question marks in there. And hey, nobody ever looked better doing a horrible job though than Pam Bondi. I'll give her credit, but we cannot be like lulled into sleep by the song of the siren. I hope we get somebody like Tom Homan in there or somebody now who's just all business.
That would be nice. I think for Donald Trump, I think Pam Bondi. Trump is fantastic 99% of the time, but like Pam Bondi is within that 1%. Where bad decisions are made, and it really took guts for Trump to get rid of her. So I applaud Trump for doing it. And looking at this in a sense of, even though because I do think he really likes Pam Bondi, he likes success better than he likes Pam Bondi. And so bravo to President Trump.
Yeah, on to the next one, and nobody worry about Blondie. She'll do just fine as a Fox News anchor. She's been auditioning for the job since she got into the office.
That's the thing. And you mentioned Bush, she was always a Bush type rhino. She was weak on what was so important to us and didn't have the balls to go after the Democrat and the deep state criminals who defrauded our country, who stole our taxpayer money, who rigged and stole the 2020 election, who opened our borders, who killed and injured millions of Americans with lockdowns and masks and forced vaccination, and really people that committed treason. We've gotten none of those people. Not even an investigation on any of those people.
Yeah, agreed. And, we're coming down the home stretch, heading towards these midterms, and I'd really like to see somebody get in there and really start going after the people that opened our borders, stole our elections, blew our economy out, and I want them to be held accountable. So we need somebody to go in there and just come in like a wrecking ball and start taking care of business. And who cares if it upsets the libs? Because they're going to be pissed off about something anyway, so we don't have to worry about that.
And she sure didn't have the intestinal fortitude to go after the boss of all bosses, which is, as you know, Barack Hussein Obama. Because we know all roads lead to Obama. But Pam Bondi never had the stones to even touch that issue.
If you look about the ramifications that via Obama's mommy, who is actually, from what I know, is a cousin of the Bush family, there again, is she going to, is a Bush acolyte going to go after a Bush crony? Of course not.
No, they're not.
So, yeah, hopefully we'll get just a real, headstrong constitutional AG out of this. And, on to the next one. And, yeah, Trump's not worried about the imagery of it or whatever, because yes, even Hakeem Jeffries is praised. She's gone now, but we're still gonna prosecute her and put her on the stand and all that stuff. But guess what, Hakeem Jeffries, we're glad she's gone too.
Yeah, knock yourself out. Have fun.
All right, happy Easter to the Hey Now Nation. Y'all have a great weekend with your family, and I'm out of here. Hey now.
Hey now. Happy Easter there to you, Bubba Rumble. It's not hard. Indict all the soldiers and the foot soldiers that carried out the treason. And this is my advice to the upcoming whoever the attorney general may be. Indict all these people that were the underlings, the people who carried out the acts of treason, and then twist their arms until they break and give up the organized crime boss at the top of this massive decade-long criminal conspiracy. All you have to do is offer the carrot and the stick. That's it. Offer life in prison or the death penalty for treason behind door number 1, and then offer a dramatically reduced sentence and parole behind door number 2. Then twist arms. It's an easy choice. They will all flip to reduce a life sentence or a death penalty for treason. And I'm no brilliant legal mind, obviously, but it seems pretty simple. Who will they flip on? Well, they'll flip on the guy at the top. That's Obama. He was the boss. He gave the orders. He's the worst criminal and traitor in charge of the worst criminal conspiracy in the history of U.S. politics. Pam Bondi was never going to get the job done. But don't cry for Pam Bondi. As Bubba said, she will do just fine. She'll now move on to a TV host gig at Fox News where all the telegenic, articulate, well-dressed, perfectly made up, trunk backstabbing rhinos end up. So who's going to be the next attorney general is the question. And I personally, if I think of people who can get the job done, here's my top 5. I actually thought about this last night. And I put on the list somebody that they're speculating may be taking the job, and that is Lee Zeldin. I also think Ed Martin would be good for the job. I think Joe, what's the guy's name? Joe DiGiovanni. What's his name? Joe DiGiovanni. Genova. I can't remember his name, but I like him as well. I think Ken Paxton. Joe DeGenova. That's his name. That's who I'm thinking of. Ken Paxton. Put him on the list. How many I got so far? Lee Zeldin, Joe DeGenova, Ed Martin, Ken Paxton, and Judge Jeanine Pirro. That's your AGs. Actually, I might put Judge Jeanine at the top of that list. Because out of those 5, I think these are the people that are pit bulls needed to get the job done and to get it done right. These 5 are natural-born legal killers. They have the stomach and the balls to get the job done, to indict, arrest, and prosecute radical communist traitors and deep state criminals who have looted our country and persecuted and censored good Americans because of their conservative political beliefs. But Obama is the key to everything. Obama nodded his head, and the treasonous crimes were committed. He gave the green light to all this while being able to stand in the background and maintain his reputation. That's why, he once said, if I can run, be president for a 3rd term, but just kind of be in the background, whispering in somebody's ear, have somebody stand in for me, I would absolutely do that. What do you think Joe Biden was? Obama weaponized government to attack political opponents during his term and Joe Biden's term. Obama used the IRS to destroy lives. Obama is the architect of the Green New Deal scam. Obama is the architect of the open border strategy and the Russia collusion scam. and the Trump impeachments and the rigged and stolen elections and the January 6th entrapment and the nonstop persecution of Trump after 2020 to make sure he could never be elected again. And the massive censorship operation to silence conservatives over stolen elections and deadly COVID vaccines. And the architect of the Arab Spring and the radicalization of Muslims all around the world. And the list just goes on and on. He's responsible for the billions of taxpayer dollars given to Iran that allowed Iran to build up their military and nuclear capabilities and fund terrorism all over the world that led to the murder of Americans and U.S. military heroes. And what we're dealing with on this very day. And the list goes on. All roads lead to Obama, but Obama's hardly alone. There's a list of Democrat and deep state criminals who must be prosecuted and then arms twisted to flip and point the finger back at Obama. George Soros, Anthony Fauci, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Valerie Jarrett, Susan Rice, Samantha Power, John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Christopher Wray, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, Merrick Garland, the creepy pedo John Podesta, Ben Rhodes, Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, Letitia James, Stacey Abrams, Mark Milley, Bill Gates, Ghislaine Maxwell, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. I can give you a list a mile long. And don't forget all the unelected, treasonous insurrection judges appointed by Clinton, Obama, Biden, and even Bush, who think they're more powerful than the President of the United States. Start with James Boasberg. And add a cast of hundreds of corrupt, bribed, communist, anti-American traitors, no doubt all on the payroll of China, the CCP, the drug cartels, and the deep state. You know that money's been flowing in that direction for a very long time. So get to work, President Trump. Choose wisely. Choose based on loyalty to you, loyalty to MAGA, loyalty to America first, loyalty to American exceptionalism, and loyalty to the U.S. Constitution. And only choose among candidates with a pitbull mindset and steel balls who are willing to indict all the criminals and traitors, no matter how rich, no matter how powerful, no matter how much the mainstream media and the ACLU scream. It's time to kick ass. Let's go make America great again. 205-545-9950. More of the line coming up. By the way, y'all keep on bringing it on YouTube. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. Some people are a little antsy on YouTube, but everybody's welcome. This one says, I don't tune in to hear sports, and you don't need some direction to have a better show. And you do need some direction to have a better show. Don't be so arrogant. Your show is mediocre at best. I get those all the time. And telling me how much my show sucks, but they continue to listen and text all the time about how mediocre the show is and how much they hate it. Well, my apologies for talking about a local team that affects the local economy and then talking about a national news story related to Tiger Woods and bringing in Damian Mitchell. But anyway, moving on. Bring it in. Go to YouTube, pull up your YouTube app, search Real Talk 99.5 TV, Real Talk 99.5 TV, and jump in there, jump in the chat and give me a hey now. I'm watching on YouTube now, so I'm going to see your chats and your comments. Hook it up. Let me know you're here hanging out with us on this Good Friday. Underdog Fantasy starting you off today. Here I go with the sports again. Underdog Fantasy, man. If y'all hadn't downloaded the app, speaking of UFL, speaking of the Birmingham Stallions, they are on Underdog. You can make your picks with the UFL games, with Stallions players, and win some real money. All you do is pick your players, pick higher or lower on their stats, like, passing yards, touchdowns, rushing yards, whatever it may be. There's a bunch of options on there. Same thing for the tournament. You got the last four in here, and then you're going to have the championship game. Make your picks, get them right, win real money. And when you sign up, remember, free to download this app, free to sign up, free to use my promo code, which is HeyNow, all one word. Download the app today. Use promo code HeyNow to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HeyNow. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 19 or older and present in Alabama. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit ncpgambling.org. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Talking about Pam Bondi, though, there were also reports on top of that Donald Trump was weighing firing Tulsi Gabbard. And I don't know if the news outlets are just in the business of throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks, thinking that Trump's on some kind of firing spree. He's fired people a lot less. There's been a lot fewer firings this time around than there was before. So I don't know why people think that he's just on some big firing spree. The Guardian was the one that put that out. The White House wasted no time obliterating that report, saying it is completely untrue.